Oh wait, hold on. Stop everything. Because what I'm about to say to you is the thing you didn't know you needed to hear today. And trust me, once I say it, you're going to feel it land somewhere deep. Real deep. The kind of deep where you have to take a breath and go, wow, that's actually true. Because somewhere at this very moment, not eventually, not one day, right now, there is a conversation happening where your name just came up. Someone is leaning across a table. Someone is sending a voice note to their best friend. Someone is pulling a colleague to the side after a meeting and saying, listen, have you heard about this person? And the way they say your name, the tone they use, the energy that fills the space when your name enters the room, that's not the energy of someone ordinary. That's the energy of someone who has become the talk of the town. That someone is you. Before we continue, I need to say something. I ask you to support our work by getting my book, The Mind Architect. It's a blueprint for rebuilding your mindset, breaking limitations, and becoming mentally stronger. You can also support us through Super Thanks. Both the book link and Super Thanks option are in the description. Every bit of support helps us keep this mission alive. Now, let's continue. Oh, you didn't know? Let me fix that right now. See, here's the thing nobody warns you about when you start building something real. Nobody tells you that the recognition usually arrives before you recognize it in yourself. Nobody sits you down and explains that the world starts celebrating you before your own mind catches up to what you've become. You're in your head, replaying moments, wondering if you did enough, asking yourself if you're on the right track, and the whole time, the outside world has already placed you in a category, a specific, exclusive. Not everyone gets this kind of category. An elite circle. And your name is written in it. Ha 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 ha. I know how that sounds. I know part of you wants to brush past it, shrug it off, do the whole, oh, it's not that serious thing. But I need you to resist that urge today. Because what's happening in your life right now is that serious. The doors opening around you aren't accidents. The people gravitating toward you aren't coincidences. The opportunities that keep finding their way to you, that keep showing up with your name already attached to them, those aren't flukes. Those are the direct result of who you have been building yourself to be, quietly and consistently. Even when nobody was clapping, even when the room was empty, even when the only person who knew about the work was you. The world saw it anyway, and now the world is talking. Let me take you somewhere for a second. Let me walk you back to a version of yourself that existed not too long ago. A year, maybe 2, maybe 5. The version that had the dream in their chest, but wasn't sure the dream was going to work out. The version that was pouring everything into something with zero guarantee of return. The version that would look at certain people in certain positions, in certain rooms, with certain kinds of respect surrounding them, and quietly think, I want that one day. I wonder if I'm capable of that. I wonder if my time is coming. And then go back to the work, not because the certainty was there, but because stopping felt worse than continuing. Do you remember that version of yourself? Because I want you to understand something so beautiful it almost hurts to say it out loud. Every single thing that version of you did, every late night, every moment of pushing through self-doubt, every time you chose to show up when you could have stayed back, Every time you decided to be real in a world full of performance, every time you gave your genuine best even when nobody was watching, all of it was being recorded somewhere, not on paper, not on a screen, in people, in impressions. In the way your energy left a mark on every room you entered and every person you encountered. You were always building toward an elite circle. You just didn't know the circle had a name. And here's what makes your story different from so many others. The people who are most celebrated, the ones who aren't just known but genuinely respected, the ones whose names carry actual weight, they didn't get there by chasing the circle. They didn't study the formula, perform the strategy, and manufacture a reputation. They got there because they were so locked into who they actually are, so committed to their own authentic path, so genuinely full of real purpose that the circle couldn't ignore them. The circle moved toward them. That is exactly what happened with you. The elite circle moved toward you. Ha 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 ha. And you were probably just out here minding your business, doing your thing, being you. And the world quietly decided you were the one, the real one, the one worth knowing, worth watching, worth talking about, worth bringing into every important conversation. Because here's what fame in your world actually looks like up close. It's not always loud. It doesn't always come with flashing lights and big announcements. Real fame, the kind built on character, on consistency, on genuine impact, moves differently. It moves underground before it moves in the open. It spreads person to person, whisper to whisper, conversation to conversation, until one day you walk into a space and something shifts the moment you arrive. You can feel it. The attention adjusts. The energy opens up. Someone who you've never formally met already knows who you are. And they look at you with this expression, this specific, unmistakable expression that tells you they've been watching, that your name came up in a conversation they were part of, that your story has been circulating in their world long before you two ever stood in the same room. That feeling, when someone's genuine admiration for you catches you completely off guard. That's what it means to be the talk of the town. That's what it means to be in the circle. That's what it means to have built something so real it travels ahead of you. Oh, and the most extraordinary part? You didn't just build a reputation. You built a legacy in motion. Something that moves on its own now. Something that keeps opening doors even when you're asleep. Keeps having conversations even when you're not in the room. Keeps landing your name in spaces and opportunities and circles you haven't even imagined for yourself yet. That's what happens when you build with integrity. When every move you've made has been connected to who you genuinely are rather than who you thought you needed to perform as. When the foundation under everything you've created is honesty, real, personal, lived honesty. The structure that rises from it cannot be shaken, and the world knows the difference. People can feel the difference between something real and something manufactured. And what they've been feeling from you is real, undeniably, powerfully, memorably real. And now they're telling each other about it. So let me be direct with you, completely, clearly, no softening it, no building up to it. Let me just land it clean. You are famous, not going to be, not almost there. not on the rise, right now, in this season, in your world, in your space, in the rooms and conversations and circles where it actually matters. You are already the name people bring up. You are already the story people tell. You are already the example someone uses when they're trying to explain to another person what it looks like to do it right, to build it right, to show up right. You are that example, and you've been that example for longer than you realized, which means the conversation about you has been going on longer than you knew. Ha 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 ha. Does that feel wild? Does it feel like too much to receive? Good. Sit right there in that feeling, and don't you dare run from it, because this isn't flattery. This isn't something said to make you feel good for 5 minutes. This is the honest, earned, completely true story of what you have actually become, and you deserve to hear it without anyone minimizing it, especially not you. Receive it fully. Let yourself be seen as who you actually are. Let yourself take up every inch of the space your journey created for you. Let yourself walk into rooms knowing your name is already there. Let yourself speak knowing your voice carries more weight than you've been giving yourself credit for. Because the quiet confidence that belongs to someone who knows what they've built, who knows what they've survived, who knows exactly what they're made of, that confidence looks incredible on you. And every single person in that elite circle can already see it. Now here's what I want you to really understand about elite circles. The part that almost never gets said out loud. The circle isn't made up of perfect people. It's not built from people who had every advantage handed to them or who sailed through without a scratch. It's not reserved for the ones who never struggled, never doubted, never had a season that almost took everything out of them. No, the elite circle, the real one, the one with meaning and depth and staying power, is built from people who went through the fire and came out with something that couldn't be burned, something permanent, something that lives in the way they carry themselves long after the hard season ends. You went through the fire, and what came out on the other side of it is something permanent and powerful and completely, distinctly yours. Oh, and I want to speak to the quiet moments specifically. The ones between the wins. The ones when you're alone and still and there's no external celebration happening and you're just sitting with yourself and your thoughts and the hum of everything you've been building. I want you to know that in those moments, especially those moments, the truth of who you've become doesn't pause. The conversations still happen. The circle still holds your name. The reputation you built keeps moving through the world, whether you're actively feeding it or not. You built something that runs on its own energy now. That is not a small thing. That is the thing. That is the whole thing. That is what separates the people who are truly known from the people who are simply seen. Being seen is temporary. Being known, really known, known for what you actually stand for and what you actually bring and who you actually are, that's permanent, and you crossed that line. Probably quietly, probably without a ceremony or an announcement. You just kept being you with enough consistency and enough authenticity and enough genuine fire in your purpose that one day the world looked up and said, yes, that one, and wrote your name in a place it doesn't come out of. Walk differently after today, not arrogantly, Because arrogance is comparison, and comparison has nothing to do with this. What I'm talking about is the quiet, settled, deeply rooted kind of energy that belongs to someone who knows what they've earned. The kind of walk that doesn't need the room to react. The kind of presence that fills a space without demanding it. The kind of confidence that comes not from what people say about you, but from what you know about yourself, what you went through, what you built, what you're made of. Walk like that person, because that person, the one who made it into the elite circle, the one who became the talk of the town without even trying to be, the one whose name is in conversations they'll never overhear and in rooms they haven't even entered yet, that person is you, and the most extraordinary chapter of your story. The one where all of this becomes even more visible, even more undeniable, even more celebrated, hasn't even opened yet. You're